Welcome to Mighty Mungos. Let's start, as we always do, with the Mighty Minute.
Now it's time for Joke of the Week. Roll the tape. Mummy, why did the pony get sent to his room?
I don't know. Why did the pony get sent to his room?
Because he wouldn't stop horsing around. What's the scarecrow's favourite foods?
I don't know.
Strawberries.
I've got a really good knock-knock joke that we can do on Zoom, all right? You ready? Okay, can you start it off?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
What do we want?
I don't know. What do we want?
We want cat noises. When do we want them? Meow. What's Rock's favourite song? I don't know, but I want to rock. We will rock you. Why did the cat like his tummy?
I don't know. Why did the cat like his tummy?
Because it had a cat inside.
Oh.
What did one eye say to the other? Between you and me, something smells.
Where do you find the sheep's tail?
I don't know. Where do you find a sheep's tail?
At the back!
Do you have a joke? If you do, film it landscape and send it in to mightymungos@stmungos.org, and maybe next time we'll see you on Joke of the Week. Here at Mighty Mungos, we want to be known as a people who are thankful.
That's why we have gratitude attitude. Let's see who sent in their videos this week. I'm thankful for my timer's towel, my weight in my bike, and painting my eggs. I'm thankful for trees. I'm thankful for rivers. We're thankful for picnics.
So, what are you thankful for? Film it, landscape or sideways and send in your videos to mightymungos@stmungos.org. Maybe next time we'll see you on Gratitude Attitude.
It's time for water. This is Big Family of God. 1, 2, 3. Some of us are big and tall, some of us are very small. Some of us like pink and some like blue. Some of us like reading books, some of us like feeding dogs. That's because we're different, me and you. But God loves everyone
talking in
French, Spanish, Greek to Mandarin. Solo hay un creador. So clap your hands and sing, shout out and worship Him. So clap your hands and sing, and let the praise begin. Oh wow, what a God! Oh wow, what a God! There's no one like You. There'll never be another. Oh wow, what a God! Oh wow, what a God! There's no one like You. There'll never be another awesome God. You walked upon the earth You made. Oh wow, oh wow. You died and now we can be saved. Oh wow, You rose and left an empty grave. Oh wow, and one day You're coming back again. There's no one like You. There'll never be another awesome. Oh wow, what a God. Oh wow, what a God. There's no one like You. There'll never be another awesome God. Na 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 na. There'll never be another awesome God. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. There'll never be another awesome God.
If I were to ask you, what do you think is the most common saying in the world? I wonder what your answer would be. Now, I don't know what the most common saying in the world is, but I think I could make a guess at what it might be. Because before I got old and grey and a bit crumbly, I used to be a teacher. And in these days, there were 3 little words that I must have heard 20 times a day. And I guess that some of you at least can guess what they were. And if there are any teachers listening to this, then you don't need to guess because you know exactly what they were. It wasn't me. You know, you could stand and watch somebody doing something wrong, and when you face them with it, they would look you in the eye and say, it wasn't me. Anything to avoid admitting that they've done something wrong. And there's nothing new in that. In the Garden of Eden, when God asked Adam if he had eaten the fruit that God told him that he wasn't to eat, Adam tried to blame it on his wife, Eve. And when God asked Eve about it, she tried to blame somebody else as well. And the Bible is full of stories down through the centuries of people trying to cover up things which they've done that were wrong. And one of these people was King David. David is probably the best king that Israel ever had, but he wasn't perfect. And he did some things which were very, very wrong indeed. Just exactly what they were is another story for another day. But David was just like the rest of us. And he tried to cover up what he'd done as well. But God was having none of it, and he gave David a really hard time until finally David realised just how wrong was the stuff that he'd done. And he wrote a psalm about it. It's Psalm 32, and I thought that we might have a wee look at this together. We're not going to look at the whole psalm, just look at the first 5 verses. And actually, David sort of tells this story back to front. He starts off by telling us how things ended up, and then he goes on to explain how they got there. So here we go. Blessed is he whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man whose sin the Lord does not count against him, and in whose spirit is no deceit. Now let's just pause there for a wee minute. I'm sure we would agree with David that I think we would call ourselves blessed as well if we knew that every single thing that we'd ever done wrong was totally and completely forgiven by God. We would say we were blessed, just like David does. But David then goes on to say something quite surprising. He goes on to say, and in whose spirit is no deceit. Now how does David know that? How does David know that somebody who's been completely and utterly forgiven by God is completely honest, completely open, and doesn't try to cover up anything that he's done or anything that's in his heart? Well, let's read on a wee bit and see what David says about it. When I kept silent, says David, this is the wasn't me bit. When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was sapped as in the heat of summer. Then I acknowledged my sin to you, and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord. And we've got a wee bit of a cliffhanger. Again, I think we probably know where David's coming from here. I think there are at least some of us who've done stuff wrong, we've tried to cover it up, we've found that as that time went on, we've had to tell more and more lies, and we've felt worse and worse and worse and worse, until eventually we go and tell somebody what we've done and get it off our chest. And that's where David was at. But David wasn't confessing to a parent or a teacher or maybe a group leader. David was going and admitting what he'd done to God himself, and he probably didn't know how God would react. So this really is a wee bit of a cliffhanger. So let's look and see how God does react to David. David said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin. Isn't that amazing? That's what God is like. God wanted to forgive David right from the very, very start, but he couldn't do it until David admitted that he'd done something wrong. And the same is true of us. But when we do admit that, then God forgives us. Now there's a very obvious question that I think some of you will be asking. Does that mean that I can do what I like and just tell God about it and he'll forgive me? Well, no. It doesn't mean that. Remember the bit about no deceit. See, if you just do something knowing that if you tell God he'll let you off, that's not honest, is it? It's not honest. And God is looking for our open, honest admission that we need him to forgive us. But when we do get to that place, and we do make that admission to God, then just like David, he forgives the guilt of all our sin. Isn't that great? Have a great week.
And your memory verse for this week is...
The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Psalm 19, verse 1.
Good morning and welcome to Mighty Mungos News. We are well and truly into the summer holidays, and I hope you've been having fun, whatever you've been up to. As the weeks go by in the summer, we will be here every Sunday morning. And I hope you enjoy some of the suggestions we make for things to do. This year, the adults in St Mungos are going to be working their way through the Gospel of John. So here's a challenge for you this summer. Why don't you read the Gospel of John? I'm going to suggest that you do it with an adult Bible, because these are broken up into chapters and verses. You've probably got a few in the house. Have a look at them. Flip between one or another. See if you find one easier. Or on a tablet or a parent's phone, ask permission to download an app where you can read or even listen to the Bible being spoken. There are 21 chapters in John, and each one will take you between 5 and 15 minutes to read. So here's my suggestion. Write out the name John. Then split it into 21 parts. Each time you read a chapter, colour one in until it's complete. Some of you will do it in a week. Others of you will take all summer. That's absolutely fine. Take it a step at a time. Maybe you could do it with a parent. Or maybe you're going to do it alongside your parents, but see who completes it first.
Our time together is almost over, but we just have time for... Family Face-Off!
is it. Our time together on Mighty Mungos has finished, come to an end for this week.
But stick around, watch the Sunday selfies, and we'll join you back here at 10:30. Go get a drink, get some snacks. What else?
The Sunday selfie.
Take a selfie.
Take a Sunday selfie. And we'll see you guys next week on Mighty Mungos.